by Stephanie to come up with a fantasy league of greatness. Stephanie is our producer extraordinaire. A fantasy league of greatness. And I was going to do it with people, and I was going to be a smart ass about it. Like somebody asked me one time, who would you like to play golf with? Like if you could have an ideal foursome, who would it be? And all these guys were like, well, you know, Belichick and Bobby Knight. I'm like, yeah, the last thing in the world I want to do is play golf with Belichick or some coach that talks about me, I. You know, in 78 when I was at Navy. No, I said like Halle Berry, my wife Lee, and Raquel Welch. I think that'd be a fun foursome. That'd be a great time. I don't want to play with coach. I don't want to, you know, sports figures wear you out. Whenever you talk to a sports figure, they're not listening to you. They're trying to figure out what they have to say and tell you, particularly when you're an announcer. Like the worst thing about being an announcer was going into a coach's meeting before the game and listen to this guy tell you stuff, and you walk out 9 out of 10 times and go, my God, I don't know how he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. I just don't know. So anyway, I digress. My fantasy league of champions involves 4 players, 3 athletes and 1 coach. Now here's the deal. The first guy is Muhammad Ali. If I'm going to have a fantasy league of greatness, Muhammad Ali is numero uno. Not because I'm some woke white guy that's trying to get down and trying not to be called an ist. I've been called an ist the last 2 years, and you name an ist. Misogynist, racist, you name, sexist. I've been called, so I don't care, but Muhammad Ali was always my nemesis. He wasn't my hero. I liked Joe Frazier when he fought Muhammad Ali. But I'll tell you this, Muhammad Ali, I always had eyes on. If Muhammad Ali fought, and those of you that are old like me, you remember Muhammad Ali and Ken Norton fought on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon on the Wide World of Sports, for crying out loud, on ABC, which was Channel 7 in Chicago. When Muhammad Ali did something, I paid attention. So I want Muhammad Ali's security in his own human beingness. I want Muhammad Ali's confidence. I want Muhammad Ali leading the charge with, man, oh man, you ain't beating us. You got no chance. I want Muhammad Ali's uber competitiveness. One thing about Muhammad Ali, he would take a licking and keep on ticking. I want Muhammad Ali's smarts in battle. Anybody know the rope-a-dope? Anybody remember that against George Foreman? Smarts in battle. Lastly, I want Muhammad Ali's huge fan base. If I'm going to have a fantasy league, and again, it's a fantasy, I want his humongous fan base. I want everything about Muhammad Ali, and I want to walk right next to him, which I did, by the way, one time at the Tony Tucker-Mike Tyson fight at the Hilton in Vegas. My brother and I snuck down, and we actually sat next to Robin Givens. Remember Robin Givens? That was Mike Tyson's wife. I looked at her, and we're about half in the bag. I go, hey, you're on head of the class. And I've never had a woman give me a worse look in her life. I've never had somebody tell me to go F myself, keep effing myself, and F yourself until you die, like Robin Givens with a look. But that's all right, I digress. That same day, I went to the bathroom, came down the stairs, and somehow, some way, I was right in the middle of Muhammad Ali's entourage. He was being held up a little bit by a couple handlers, like they had his fingers underneath his elbows, you know, kind of just making sure he was steady. I said, champ, how you doing, man? He looked at me. I liked it. Muhammad Ali was my guy. I rooted for Joe Frazier. Muhammad Ali was my guy. All right, full disclosure, I own Michael Jordan. Now, you're laughing right now. Go ahead, I'll let you. But in 1984, kicked Michael Jordan's ass when I was at Indiana and he was at North Carolina. You can look it up. Billy Packer made a bit of a too big a deal about it. But Michael Jordan is my next guy. Now, same summer, I beat Michael Jordan out of $6,000 playing golf. He's like, come on, we'll go to Wendy's. We went to Wendy's. Me, him, Steve Alford, Timmy Knight. He said, I'll pay you tomorrow. He paid me in a bag of garbage. Not garbage actual, but stuff he got from free at the Olympics. 1984 was the year of the Olympics. Coach Knight was the coach. College kids went. Jordan was among them. We played golf on a nice Sunday afternoon. I beat the living hell out of him. he said it was the day he signed his Nike contract. So he didn't, his exact quote, money don't mean nothing to me. I said, Mike, money means a lot to me. Let's double, triple, whatever you want. I beat him out of $6,000. To this day, he's never paid. I'll get into that in a later show. But I can't stand soft-ass people. Like, there's a group of people that are mad at Penny Hardaway because he came out and said, hey, look, I'm going to go be an asshole to my team. Oh, he's abusing college kids. Shut up. I want Michael Jordan on everybody's ass. I'm not one of those that watched, what was that thing called on Michael Jordan, that Last Dance, and said, oh, what a bad teammate. He was too hard. No. I'm one of those guys that said that's the way you win. When your best player demands of everybody else, that's the way you win, and that's the way you win big. If I'm going to have a fantasy team of greatness, I got to have Michael Jordan on it to push everybody. That's right. I got to have Michael Jordan to tell everybody on this team, we are not losing, period. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to know about it. We ain't losing. Come on, Mohammed. Let's go kick everybody's ass. That's what I need. And that's what you need. And frankly, that's what America needs. Speaking of America, you guys don't know this name, and it's a damn shame. This is the gutsiest athlete we have had in the last 7 years. I'm trying to think Olympics-wise. Her name is Lily King. Now, Lily King won a bronze medal, a silver, a couple different things in this year's Olympics. That's not why I want Lily King on my team. Back in the day, not this past Olympics, so I guess it'd be 2016, there was a Russian cheater named, and I had to make sure I had this, named Yulia Emonov. She was a steroid user. She got banned from swimming, but she was also the world record holder. Lily King in the trials wagged her finger, basically saying, I'm kicking your ass. Lily King called out the Russian. This became a national story. Now, I know people don't pay attention to swimming nearly as much as you should, but you do pay attention sometimes in the Olympics. Lily King called out the Russians. It became news. She's disrespectful. She's unsportsmanlike. She's an ugly American. Lily King, who was like 19 or 20 and a senior at Indiana University, did not care. She stood up to all of it. And you know what Lily King did? She went out and whooped some Russian ass. She beat the world champ. She backed up what she said. And if anybody out there is smart enough to actually pay attention to real athletes, not these clowns you see running around the NBA dunking and then posing, you know Lily King should have been the sportswoman of the year, the sportsman of the year. Don't give me this crap about some basketball player that's 6'8", 270 pounds, and he can dunk. If he can't dunk, that's a story. But I want Lily King on any team that I have. I want Lily King on my side. Lily King went off. She won a bronze, and the media was disappointed. Well, what they didn't know, that Lily King mentored the young lady that beat her in the Olympics. And Lily King said, hey, bullshit. Winning a bronze medal is a hell of an accomplishment. Don't you all be besmirching that. I love Lily King. She's been on my show numerous times. And whenever Lily King is on my show, people just fall in love. Because Lily King is an American badass. That's exactly what I call Lily King. She is an American badass. Might be the baddest of all badasses currently around the sports scene right now. I mean, let's be honest. LeBron falls down, he gets a cramp, and he cries, and then he marches off with his purse. I mean, let's be real here. Tom Brady, American badass. Darius Leonard, American badass. But they ain't like Lily King. Tom Brady's got to stand there in the pocket and throw. Lily King took on the world. The freaking world. And not one of these dipshit media corporations even acknowledged and gave her a big money deal. She should have been the face of everything. DAKICH'S, why are you spending 5 minutes talking about Lily King? Because I want to. Man. My daughter, when they were in college together, both in the School of Education, didn't know each other. But when they ran into each other at Kilroy Sports Bar, that's how cool Lily King is. They had a great night. They had a great time. I love Lily King. Lily King's a badass. All right, I need someone to coach this mess. This mess. Lily King, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan. This ain't no mess. This is greatness. And I'm going to Nick Saban. Couple reasons, not the reasons you think. You guys think I'm going with Nick Saban because of all the championships. No. I'm going to Nick Saban because I've seen Nick Saban evolve. I've seen Nick Saban go from this kind of an idiot, idiot savant, to a fun guy. Not the frickin' mushroom fun guy, a fun guy. Stop it with the dad jokes, will you please? No, a really fun human being. Nick Saban, I think, is great. I'm a big fan of Nick Saban. Literally. And not because he wins. I wouldn't know who the hell he was if he didn't win. I get all that. But Nick Saban's coaching this crew. I need a coach that's going to push, prod, and not be afraid of great athletes. Nick Saban is my man. Period. Now, won a ton of championships, took over a program that wasn't great at Alabama, might win another one if you go by how they played this past weekend. But Nick Saban joins the list of American badasses. Like, I don't want to hear about some guy and his straight-leg jeans and his fat ass and his beard. That ain't my story. That ain't my style. And I know we're all supposed to, embrace these folks, and they're the nastiest people alive. I want real dudes. I want real ladies. I want real men. So that's my team. Let's recap. Muhammad Ali, security, confidence, uber competitive, and I want the huge fan base. Michael Jordan, I can't stand soft-ass people. I'm sorry. I know we're all supposed to. I know social media is filled with you people. Well, Doncic is such a... I want him on everybody's ass, Michael Jordan, every day. Lily King's the nicest person, most confident person ever. She called out the Russian. She beat the Russians' ass in the 2016 Olympics, and she's a great human being. She mentors others. Hell, when all this COVID was going on and she had to train for the Olympics, she went in a pond. And they were snapping turtles. She said, I better get out of the pond. And then Nick Saban, Tom Izzo, there's not a lot. Not a lot of coaches that I respect because of how they will get on their players' asses. Not a lot of coaches. Those two I respect because they ain't afraid. They are not afraid. They ain't afraid to call Matt Painter, Purdue basketball. He ain't afraid. John Thompson back in the day, Bobby Knight, not afraid. Dean Smith never won as much because he was afraid. Dean Smith was always trying to kiss ass. Don't kiss ass.